Many of us spend more time at work than we do at home, and the corporate world is quickly grasping that the personal well-being of employees is essential to a successful business environment. But would your organisation be prepared if it had to deal with something that was having a serious personal impact on an employee? Something that might affect other staff or clients? Something that could even put your entire organisation at risk? When 20-year-old hairstylist Hollie Gazzard started work at Fringe Benefits in the centre of Gloucester in 2014, neither she nor her employer had any real idea of the danger she was in. Hollie had recently split up with her abusive partner, and he'd been stalking her. Nobody realised Asher Maslin's behaviour was escalating. On the 18th of February, as Hollie was getting ready to close up for the day, Maslin was buying a knife. He then walked into the salon where he stabbed her to death in front of everyone. Since her murder, Hollie's father Nick has been establishing what lessons can be learned. He's trained police officers and agencies on how to spot the warning signs of stalking and domestic abuse. Now it's time for the corporate world.
We have to look at the stats first and foremost. 1 in 6 women, 1 in 12 men are stalked in their lifetime. 1 in 4 women and 1 in 6 men are abused in their lifetime. So it does affect an enormous amount of people, and they can't just separate their domestic and work life. So that impact will have an impact in the working environment as well on how they perform. And if people are underperforming as a result of that, whether that's because it's always in the back of their mind, whether it's because they're being contacted on a regular basis by their perpetrator, that has an effect on how they can do their job. If it affects how they do their job, the knock-on effects are bottom line effect on the business in terms of the outputs, the outcomes, and the profit at the end of the day. When it does go wrong, and it goes badly wrong, it has a number of implications. If you talk about the business first and foremost, now the salon where Hollie was killed, that's now been highlighted, and people remember that salon as a result of, well, that's where Hollie was killed, and they remember it for the wrong reasons, and that may well have put people off going there, and certainly did after Hollie was killed. The people that were involved at the time, so the customers, the staff, that would have had a massive impact on them. And I know there were 3 16-year-old trainees that were Hollie's friends who were working on that particular day, and the impact that it's still having on them is enormous. So there's that element of what impact it has on the staff for the future. And also the business, it would have had a financial impact on that business because the business had to shut for a number of days. And I'm sure that people would have hesitated going back into that salon knowing what had happened there.
Nick has been commissioned by Gloucestershire's Police and Crime Commissioner to help businesses understand their duties and implement policies and procedures effectively.
As the world develops and we become more sophisticated, there's more issues. So, if you look at the generational changes, the way the world is now, it's different to what it was when my parents were my age, and it's going to be different for my children. So there's always new things to tackle, there's always new issues. But I think if we continue to progress, then we have to tackle more wider issues. And I don't think these issues are particularly challenging. It's about learning and education. So I think if we don't know what to do, then we'll tend to ignore the problem. But a lot of these things we're asking, they don't take huge amounts of resources, they don't take huge amounts of time, they don't take huge amounts of money. It's just a recognition that actually there is something we can do to help. And if we put the right policies and procedures in place and we spend a bit of time teaching our people how to respond when these situations arise, then it's something we can help very easily.
If you want expert training for your management and staff on how to identify those suffering from abuse, how to intervene early and manage those affected, please contact Nick at ngconsulting.org. Internal expertise supported by staff.